everybody. Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9. Yeah, we can hear you, Andrew. What's up, buddy? Hey, we got Justin Trowbridge from Industrial Hemp Coalition, as well as Andrew Bish from Bish Enterprises and the CEO of Hemp Harvest Works. We're going to talk a lot about hemp and feed. Justin, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, well, so you guys know I like to bring in some interesting guests and all that, and Andrew Bish is one of those people where he does a lot of cool stuff in the hemp space. And, I'm part of the Industrial Hemp Coalition. I actually met Andrew when I was doing the Nebraska Hemp Industries Association board up there. And then obviously we had Jeff Whaling last week with the National Hemp Association. So it's kind of the entourage effect that the plant teaches us, right? You bring in all the experts you can, and that's the way you get the best results. And Andrew Bish is one of those experts. So every time I do this, by the way, he pays me $10. So I'm waiting for all the money to just pile in at once. But Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing and walk us through a little bit of the fun new stuff you got on the horizon.
Oh, well, thank you, Justin. Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you betcha.
Yep,
we hear
awesome.
you good, Andrew. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, great. Thank you guys for having me. So what are we doing now? Well, the winter time is always an opportunity for us to reflect on the products that we put out in the field the previous year, literally, and kind of come back and regroup and do some design changes as we work to manufacture products for this coming season. So the past month and a half have really been heavily focused on design modifications and setting up for manufacturing for this coming season. And we've got most of our products that we've been spending time on for this coming season are in the grain and fiber category, but we continue to do work in the CBD area, just not quite as extensively this year as in previous years.
So with the fiber side, we had also, I think Justin had mentioned something about using hemp for feed, and that's not something that I had ever heard of before. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, that's actually kind of a limiting factor in the growth of the industry currently is the lack of ability to feed animals hemp. And if you go into Europe, you'll see that hemp is used as a silage. Grain is fed to a variety of different animals. But here in the United States, even though you can go into the stores and you can buy hemp hearts, hemp grain, and you can ingest that as a human, it's not legal yet from an animal food ingredient to insert that into the diet of any type of production animal, according to the FDA. So you can't feed that to your cow and then sell that cow into the marketplace, for instance. And as a result, we're not seeing major feed suppliers.
So I guess I kind of got to ask, like, it seems like if it's embraced elsewhere, what's the pushback here? Does that have anything to do with the fact that we have a little bit of fear and stigma still attached to the plant?
Yeah, so the pushback there's a process that you have to go through with the FDA and CVM to introduce a new animal food ingredient, and they do a lot of different testing. I work with an organization called the Hemp Feed Coalition, and they've got an application in we have an application in with the FDA CVM right now. And to answer your question, the pushback is surrounding THC, concern about THC being in seeds or in the animal feed ingredient, and then the potential transference. Basically, any potential concern that they have, they've rolled out in opposition to adding hemp as an animal feed ingredient in any form.
So most of the forward progress then has been with the fiber and grain then, and not that side of it.
Yeah, the real industry growth right now is going to be seen in the fiber markets, as there's not a lot of restriction there in terms of what the product capability looks like. Obviously, from a building material standpoint, there's a lot of materials that are going to have to get certified before they're used as building materials. But outside of that, there's really nothing that inhibits the stock industry from moving forward.
Okay, so if you're a farmer in the Midwest,
which we have a lot of those.
Yeah. So we want to get into it. What do we do? How do we find out, this industrial hemp thing? It's like nobody wants to talk about the value of what these products can do So we're trying to skirt it by putting it on different, like siding and different decorative ways. But I mean, is it all just political at this point?
No, I mean, I think that the challenge for farmers right now is really just actually having processing capability. The processing infrastructure in the United States hasn't really built out in the way that many people hoped it would. It's definitely starting in 2022. We're seeing a fair amount of build out across the Midwest, actually, and as that continues to occur, that's going to provide farmers the real opportunity, because then they'll have a market to sell it to, which is going to be quite a bit different model from the CBD model of grow it and hope that you have a buyer. You really want to make sure that you've got that buyer and then grow it for their purposes.
And I think a lot of people don't expect, if you grow fiber, that you have to have they expect you have to have the dual head combines and this custom crazy stuff. But
yeah, I'm thinking this is like $1 billion thing I got to get into, is it not?
Yeah, fiber is a little bit easier to get into if you're doing fiber focused plants. They have a shorter growing cycle. You're not going to have them in the field as long as a grain or a cannabinoid plant. You're looking at maybe a 90-day growth period, and then you're cutting and baling. So a lot of equipment that's used in the hay industry will lend itself very well to this. Although having some specialized cutting equipment can be handy. Traditional balers, traditional tractors, traditional rakes, those types of equipment lend themselves to fiber production.
So we will be able to basically have hemp in bales that we can sell. Just like
I think we're going to see a lot of that this year.
Right.
2022 is going to be a lot of stock production throughout the United States and a lot of different areas. Absolutely.
So, Andrew, how did you get into this?
Yeah,
I mean, what's your entry into the cannabis hemp industry?
How'd you become this hemp magician?
It was definitely by accident. We work in a business that focuses on solving the challenges of today's producers, and we had one of our customers that was contracted to grow hemp back in 2015 in Colorado come to us looking for some solutions, and I didn't know anything about the industry at that time. I just knew that we had a farmer that we needed to help, so we went out there and found some ways to help them that year, and that's when I saw that there was a real opportunity to help more producers find solutions, and so we've stayed and continued to work in the industry since then.
So do you believe a lot of the hemp business will come to the Midwest because of the farming experience?
I think mathematically it has to. When you look at geographic growing region and the number of acres available, the Midwest is the primary to do it. When you're looking at premium smokable flower products like that, I still think the Oregon area is going to beat out the Midwest all day long. But the Midwest, from a grain and stock standpoint, will absolutely be the dominant players in the industry.
Oh, wow. What a great conversation. Andrew Bish from Bish Enterprises. Where can folks find out more? And is there a website out there?
Yeah, you can visit us, our hemp website, hempharvestworks.com, our traditional ag website, www.bishenterprise.com. You can get a hold of me at both locations.
Very, very cool. Andrew, we appreciate you. Justin, we want to talk for just a minute about a new project that we're launching today. Can you let my listeners know what we've got cracking?
Well, after Rick rolling about 700 people in the last 2 weeks with that dummy link, we're actually going live with Waxy Browns flowerpowerhour.com. So when you get in there, we'll make the switch at the end of the show today. But we've got everything from Canna Stories, where it's people's path to cannabis. We've got upcoming events. We have a session room where you can get in there and chat with other people. There's even a veterans corner. You can see information like previous guests that have been on the show multiple times. You can get in touch with them. Podcast archives. And the one that's the craziest, I think, is probably the store. So you're able to buy all kinds of stuff, from water bottles that have Bluetooth speakers in them to there's a giant shirt. Yeah, T-shirts and hats, a big Sherpa hoodie and stuff. So All of it's print on demand, so you shouldn't have to worry about being out of stock too long. But there's plenty of cool stuff, and then we've hidden Easter eggs all over the site.
I've had so much fun with it, just clicking everywhere and checking everything out. You can run the KKID board on there. There's a game. There's all kinds of just really cool stuff, and you can also just kind of take your way through the Waxy Browns neighborhood. Go to all my sponsors out there. You want to see what Taste Buds has got going on, or Latitude, or any of these cats that are putting us on. We're gonna take you through that neighborhood. So really, really cool. But, I just want to put a big shout out to you, Justin, because you've put hundreds of hours into this, and the work that you've done has been phenomenal. And when you guys get over there and see the professionalism behind this, you guys are going to try and steal my dude, and you can't. He's not, you can't have him. All right. But he does take side projects. So y'all hit us up if you need something dope done.
Doesn't he have
side hustle of a side hustle?
Yeah. Don't you have like a Master's of Science in Marketing?
He has a Master's of Eternity or...
You guys have a master's in poking the bear with that joke.
Masters of the Universe or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's He-Man. It's all He-Man.
Well, we really appreciate you, brother.
Grateful, my fam.
Yep.
All right, guys, Steve's going to take us out to a song, and when we get back, you're going to hear an explosive interview I had at the Capitol between myself and Representative Wiley Price IV. He had some pretty intense things he had to say, and I was all ears because I needed to hear him, and I think everybody else out there does too. We're going to take you to a tune. When we get back, we're going to get a little serious.
Little BTO. This one's Let It Ride.